Okay, so we're gonna put your 2 sticks of butter, not real soft, but not hard. So this has been sitting out for probably, I don't know, a half hour. But if you have, you know, a KitchenAid, it's going to, you know, process it really well. I'll a lot of times use my Cuisinart food processor for this particular step. We're making the crust. So you can see it's not real, it's soft enough that it's breaking up, but it's not
Staying
super
solid.
soft. Okay, so then 2 cups of flour. That's
I'm
good.
recording.
That's good. You take your knife and okay, there's 1. And okay, now this is the way I measure flour, which not the way you're not supposed to do it. But I think if you tap it, you still get your flour down in there.
But you don't pack it in?
No, you don't want to pack it.
But you want to sort of pack it because that's the whole purpose of,
Yeah.
you know, tapping it, and then you level it. It's not rocket science, really. I mean, if you get a teaspoon more of flour, I don't think it's going to matter much either way. And I think we need a half cup of powdered sugar.
In the crust? What
Yeah,
is it?
in the crust.
In the crust, okay.
So you haven't made these before.
Easy.
Powdered sugar, again, kind of the same method. This is more lumpy kind of thing. And again, it's not, no big deal, but half cup. So then you just want to get it mixed together. I think I'm going to get a spatula and get some of that flour off the side. Boy, did I measure stuff right? 2 cups, right? It's the floury.
You got a lot of butter hanging up.
Lot
on
of
your
butter?
deal there.
Okay, there we go.
Excess flour.
Actually, this is now it's looking fine, but I actually prefer a food processor because you could pulse it and really get a nice, it gets nice and even quickly. This is fine.
So you're essentially making a crust dough.
Yeah, crusty dough. You can also, if you don't have a mixer or a
Butter too.
food processor, you can use forks, a fork, a pastry blender, something to just kind of mush that butter into your. But see, it looks a lot like pie crust before you add the water, and that's how you want it. You don't want it to look like, I don't know, let's say cookie dough. You don't need to do a whole lot of mixing, but you want to make sure that you got the butter incorporated into that flour and sugar mixture. So that looks pretty good. Okay, then we want to just press it into the pan. Okay, I washed my hands. They're nice and clean because, like any good recipe, you got to get your hands in it. Now, it's kind of sticky too.
You got some wax paper to?
No, this will be fine. You just want to press it down. Okay, so that looks fine. And it's all going to come together as it bakes. That butter will melt and get well incorporated Okay, so now we pop it in the oven, which is preheated to 350.
Working on
Not
it.
yet, okay. Oh, we'll wait for that. I'm gonna wash this dough off my hand on the time. You wanna bake that for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Depending on your oven, you wanna watch it because you want it to get light brown, start getting brown, but not too brown, because you know you're gonna continue to cook it.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna prep our lemon, because everything takes the longest. So,
You want a bowl or something?
I have a bowl, but first we're gonna get some zest off. You can use a box grater too. Don't use the finest. This is about perfect. Now when you get the zest off, you just want to get that yellow part. That white part is bitter. I think that's called a pith. These are real small lemons. I think I normally, if I am buying lemons for this recipe, I would buy 2 big, pretty big lemons. These being small lemons.
And so you'll probably use, what, 3 of these then instead?
I would imagine, because you're also going to use all of the juice too. And be careful not to get that, stem in there. See, it's a nice, light, fluffy.
Yeah, I think I went too far.
Yeah, you don't want to go too far. It's better to spend that extra 39 cents on an extra lemon.
Okay.
All right, so we want 2 tablespoons. Again, it's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be an exact measurement. The more lemon, the better as far as I'm concerned, but you probably don't want to go over because then it'll be pretty tart. Anyway, so that's, I'm gonna get the rest of this off. And that should be, plus I kind of packed it a little, I don't know. But that's, oh, how about that? There we go.
All right,
Okay,
so that's
now,
about 2
now you take your,
tablespoons.
okay, I need a knife. We will cut our lemons that we've grated. Get the juice out. These are handy, but the old-fashioned ones you turn around, those are good too. So you need 1/4 cup, so it's definitely going to take all of these. Maybe more. That one's still got a lot of juice in it. Look from the side. See, we're right at 1/4 cup. If we're shy at all, it's very marginal.
Okay.
There we go. That's that extra bit we needed. Okay. So now we're going to make the filling, which we'll start with the 4 eggs. Now we have medium eggs. If you have a jumbo egg or something other than 4 large eggs,
You have to do a
there's a
conversion.
conversion chart on the internet. So with medium, we need 5 instead of 4 large. Nice happy chickens. Okay, let's get this going. We want to beat this up. Nice, light, and fluffy.
So you're on the beat setting, or you're just on the...
Oh, I'm on whatever. It doesn't matter. Just give me no. Oh. So now, 2 cups of sugar. Oops, that's not my knife. Here it is. 1 cup. Sorry about that. Now, if you don't have a KitchenAid or a stand mixer, you can use the little, regular little
Hand mixer.
hand mixer, or you can use your food processor if you have that. Just make sure you wash it out because your crust had butter in it. This has no butter in it, so you don't want that in there because it would screw something up. Okay, now we want to beat this good till it's really light and fluffy. We can actually add our lemon peel. Okay, that looks good. Now we'll start adding the rest of our stuff. It's incorporated some air into there. As you can see the air bubbles. Okay, so 1/4 cup of flour. Yeah. Whoops, you want to make sure you get flour. 1/4 cup of flour. Okay, 1/4 cup. Then we need a teaspoon of baking powder. Make sure your baking powder has not, check the expiration date. You don't want something that's been in your cupboard for 6 years. Okay, so teaspoon. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Never measure salt over your
Flour
bowl.
or sugar. Or
Yeah,
bowl,
or your ingredients, because that can be disastrous. Okay, did I put, oh, here's the lemon juice. Did I put the lemon juice in? Lemon juice. Now that's all your ingredients. So now we just beat this some more. How's our crust doing? All right, so that looks good. We just have to wait now. The crust has about 9 more minutes to go, so you can turn that on. Okay, our crust has been baking, but this was ready before the crust, so it's been sitting here like at least 5 minutes. So we're gonna give it another beat just to get some more air in there. Okay, our crust is done. This looks good. You maybe don't need to do that, but Certainly isn't gonna hurt and it might help, so why not? So we wanna make sure we get all the little zest that might be hanging onto there, because that's got really the most flavor in the lemon. Now, I don't even take them out. I just take slide this out, pour it right on. Now you can see the crust. Yep, the crust is brown, a little brown around the edges. That's perfect, because remember, it's gonna bake. This isn't my oven. Okay, so now we're gonna bake it. We need to reset, it's 350 still. We need to reset our timer for 25 minutes. It's 25 to 30, but we're gonna check it at 25, see what it looks like. So see you then.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the lemon bars. They came out of the oven around an hour ago. They're cool to the touch. You can see that you want it browned about that much, no more. That's done just fine. These cracks and holes have come since it's cooled. Again, that's fine. But so you bake these from 25 to 30 minutes. We bake them 25 minutes in Reed's oven. So make sure that you keep an eye on it, because you don't maybe know what your oven's gonna do. These, we got to this in 25 minutes. You don't want it more done than that.
350.
At 350.
Right.
So now we're gonna make the frosting, which is 2 cups of powdered sugar. Again, this is the best way to measure any like floury type of thing like this, because it gets you a good measurement. All the air holes are taken up with the ingredient you're measuring. So we'll throw that in there.
That was just one, right?
That was one. We need another one.
Yeah, you know a lot more than I do, man. I've got a real problem with computers. I don't like them.
Okay, there's 2. We have 2 tablespoons there of softened butter. Just been sitting out on the counter since we put the lemon bars in the oven. I'll let nummy butter off. And then we have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice squeezed from a lemon. You never want to use, like, the worst thing you can possibly use is real lemon, the thing that comes in the lemony looking thing that's liquid. That's not lemon juice. If you don't want to go to the trouble of doing the real thing, don't do it at all.
Right.
So we may need a drop or 2 more of lemon juice.
And that's to get the consistency.
That's to
you want,
get,
not
you know,
a
it's
particular
kind of
taste.
sticky, and we are going to have to spread it. So I think we might need, now let's see what happens here. Let me get a table knife. No, that's too thick, because
It won't spread.
it won't, well, it'll spread, but it'll tear up the lemon bar, because the lemon is very delicate.
Yeah, okay.
So I have a little bit of lemon left in there. I'm just gonna try to see if I can get, yeah, just a few drops. Yeah, that's perfect. See, just a few drops made all the difference. See, it's a much softer, and you maybe can't tell, but it's just very
Yeah, okay.
more spready.
You spread it on with a spatula or with a knife?
I use a knife. The other thing I do as well is add a little bit of yellow food coloring to this, because it's a little bit prettier than white, but again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the taste at all, and I don't know. Do we have?
Yellow food coloring?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna affect the taste one bit.
Okay.
So it's probably good. Oh, we are gonna need a spatula to get the sides. Okay, so you wanna wait to frost till your bars are at room temperature, and they're delicate. So spreading is probably the hardest part about making these, because you can just tear that top up if you're not careful. One more, swipe through. All right. Now you just have to be very gentle with spreading this, because otherwise, and I don't want to do it, but if you really get going, it'll just tear that top, especially if you haven't let it cool all the way. If you need it faster and try to spread the frosting too soon, you're going to just tear your top. But it looks nice if you get the frosting all the way to the edges. All set to eat.
It doesn't need to cool more?
No, it does not need to cool. Now, if we cut them now, the frosting would obviously kind of drip off, but should we cut one and try it?
Sure. Sharper knife probably would have helped.
Well, I don't want to ruin your pan. Again, I don't think I mentioned, but you use an ungreased pan when you bake these, because there's so much butter in the crust that, you know, it's not going to stick. First one might be a little tricky to get out, but
A lot of frosting on that bad boy.
yeah, well, frosting tastes good. So there you have it. Refrigerating them too will make them firmer.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to keep them in the refrigerator. I like them firm.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's it.
That's it.